Hey Steampunks, it's Miss Nora. We're gonna do another episode today and it has a really cool theme. It is National Poetry Month, so we are gonna do some poetry together, which I think will be really fun. I'm gonna pick up my dog because he's gonna have a heart attack. Okay, relax. Diggy's gonna make poetry with us too. Before we begin, I just wanted to show you this really cool website. That I found this morning. I thought you guys would really like. No, it doesn't have anything to do with poetry. This is on the NASA website. It's called What Did Hubble See on Your Birthday? So you go in and you put in your birthday, and of course ask your parents, don't give personal information on websites without their permission. But you put on your birthday, which is right here, just the month and the date, and then you submit and it shows you what the Hubble took pictures of in outer space on your birthday. It's all different years. It's not necessarily the year of your birth. It's just the month and the date. So I'll show you mine. Okay, and you can see full image. And that's the picture that I saw. I thought that was so cool. And if you guys look up your birthday and send me an image to my email, youth@lodilibrary.net, maybe I'll mail you a little something. So why don't you do that for me? I would love to see what the Hubble saw on your birthday. So, National Poetry Month. You'll need a few supplies for what we're gonna do. Nothing crazy. I think like a pencil or pen, a couple pieces of paper, and go in your recycling and grab some junk mail. I'm sure that you guys have that laying around. Some kind of scrap with some kind of text on it that you can, ruin. Get yourself a snack and then come back. So let me start off with poetry has a lot in relationship to science, because poetry is all about playing with words and experimenting. So what's fun about poetry is that there's no rules. You don't have to worry about punctuation or capitalization. You don't have to even worry about spelling. It's all about self-expression. So having said that, I realize that I'm addressing a multi-age group, that you guys have all different abilities and all different interests. Even when we meet in real life, that's definitely true. We have everybody from age 5 to age 14. So I understand that everybody's gonna have to be different. But the thing is, none of it matters when it comes to poetry. It's just playing with words, playing with language, and expressing yourself. It's okay if you feel like you're not really good at reading or writing, or you might have some kind of disability, or you feel like you're just really young and inexperienced. It really doesn't matter. Some of the best things that I've read are from people that use a ton of slang and abbreviations and misspellings, and it's incredible to read because it's so authentic. You can get right in who they are. So that's not going to stop you, so don't even worry about it. So there's a few types of poetry that I'm going to focus on today, and it's 2 of a billion different kinds. But I just wanted to say at the very outset that usually poetry compares one thing to another thing, and they could be very disparate things. I think you remember when we did hearts, we talked about the heart as an organ and like what it does and all the different parts and its purpose, as a part of your body. But then we also talked about what hearts mean, like in terms of language and socially, and like what does it mean when somebody says that something is heartfelt, or they're heartbroken, or they have a heart, they wear their heart on their sleeve. Like, what do those expressions mean, right? So poetry makes those kind of comparisons between two different things. For instance, what if I said, your heart is like an open window? Like, that brings certain things to mind. And that's like the magic, or like the science of it, is that like that alchemy, turning that image into your own interpretation. Not everybody is going to interpret that in the same way. Not the writer and not the reader. What if I said your heart is like a dusty attic? What if your heart is like a sticky floor? What if your heart is like a dead-end road? All these things bring different images to mind, and I'm not even saying exactly what your heart is like, because you're making it up. So that's fun, right? So this is actually a little book that I wanted to share with you. It's very cute. It's a picture book. But it makes all these comparisons about the heart. It's called My Heart by Corinna Lycan. I hope that I'm saying it correctly. And I want to thank Dial Books for young readers who did not give me permission to read this. The illustrations are particularly sweet. My heart is a window. My heart is a slide. My heart can be closed or open wide. Some days it's a puddle, some days it's a stain. Some days it is cloudy and heavy with rain. Some days it is tiny, but tiny can grow. And grow. And grow. There are days it's a fence between me and the world. Days it's a whisper that can barely be heard. There are days it is broken. But broken can mend, and a heart that is closed can open again. My heart is a shadow, a light, and a guide. Closed or open. I get to decide. So maybe you can think about what your heart is. It's a fun exercise. So I think what we're going to go to next, I brought some poetry with me. So this is called shape poetry. And I'll show you the picture as I'm reading it. I'll try anyway. So this is the one I'm talking about. It's called Seashells. And you'll notice that the words are in the shape that the poem is about. Seashells scattered on the shore, swept there by the ocean, once held creatures deep inside, creeping in slow motion. Empty seashells cannot creep, cannot leap or reach, but all day long they whistle songs retired on the beach. So you could do this with any shape, any simple shape. And the words of your poem would follow the shape, and you'll find that as you're writing, it does evoke, you know, what that shape represents. I mean, I wouldn't get into a real complicated shape because I think that that would be difficult to follow with the words. And there's a website that I'm going to show you that's going to give you some more examples. I actually found this website really fascinating. It's called shadowpoetry.com. And you can see along the left-hand side, there is a list, a mile long, of all the different types of poetry. And you click on them and it gives examples. I thought that was really cool. So here, shape poetry. So example 1, birth of a triangle. Mama and Papa and baby make 3, reaching sides of a 3-sided tree. Edible winds rustle from leaves, triangular shapes converting. Dissimilarity into peeves, straight lines connect, the corners turned, mirror sight, unburned, buried am I. And it all funnels down into that triangle shape. Here's one called My Body, that's in the shape of a person. One called Broken Car, in the shape of a vehicle. So I thought that was really cool. Oh, the tree is really neat. So it's like in the shape of a tree. But I thought you guys might enjoy playing with that. There's another kind of poem that I thought you guys might enjoy too. It'll give you somewhere to start, which I think is kind of helpful. It's called an acrostic poem, and you guys might have already heard that or done it in school, perhaps. And what it is you start with one word, and you write the word down ways. I mean, maybe a place to start is you could write your name. So you could start with your name like this, and then every line starts with that letter. And you can either write a phrase where you're writing a few words, like in this one, or you could just start by writing one word that starts with N, one word that starts with O, one word that starts with R, one word that starts with A. And you might be surprised at what comes out. And of course, if you guys end up writing some poetry, I would love to read it. So please send that to me as well. I was just going to read you a few examples from this book. This is Bing Bang Bong, and this is in our library. I just came across it recently, by Douglas Florian. I'm going to just read a few examples of his poetry in addition to seashells. I really like the seashell one though. There used to be There used to be a forest here, with turtle eyes and rabbit ears. These woods were full of great green places, but now they're gone for parking spaces. Concrete islands, shopping malls, self-serve gas and bathroom stalls. Crowds of people, clouds of smoke, ceramic frogs that never croak. Now you can see that some of these poems rhyme and some don't. You don't have to rhyme. You can rhyme if you like to, though. I like this one. The Lazy Man. There was a man who stayed in bed till mushrooms sprouted from his head. He soundly slept for years and years while flowers blossomed from his ears. His arms grew covered with green moss as tiny termites slowly crossed between his legs and round his toes while bugs and ants crawled into his nose. A robin stole hair from his chest to warm its little feathered nest, and slowly on his skinned knee there grew an elderberry tree. 1,000 years he simply lied until his body petrified. All his skin and flesh and bones had turned to pebbles, rocks, and stones. This lazy man without a care, who someday wasn't even there. It's funny, that starts out like whimsical, but then towards the end like gets a little creepy and corpse-like. I kind of enjoyed that one. So the last example that I wanted to show you that I think you'll have fun with, and again, it'll give you some place to start so you don't feel at loose ends. This is called blackout poetry. So take your junk mail. And I'll show you an example of what this person did with it. So it says, shivering, brassy moonlight, ignite the dark night, lonely, haunted, and of the day. So what they did is they took random text, like what you have in junk mail, and a good way to start probably is to take a pencil or something very light. I don't think I have a pencil, but I think I have like yellow. Yeah. Circle the words that you feel drawn to, or that you feel like they go together, or they're just interesting. So give them like a little circle. So you get those ones that you like, and then take something, and obviously they got super creative and did more than just blacking it out. They used different colors. So now it says, save every stream everywhere. And you'll find as you go through a block of text and you do that, you can come up with some really interesting, it's almost like the opposite of magnetic poetry. It's more like blocking other things out instead of like compilating all the little words from magnetic poetry, because not everybody has magnetic poetry. Although if you did take scrap mail like this and cut out words, you could do a similar thing where you could make like a mosaic or some kind of collage with it. But I really liked how these people, like, instead of just blocking it out, like she used different colors and made an actual picture out of it. And I'll show you a few more examples of it. I thought it was so pretty. Here's another one. And this is a black and white, but they made it into a form, and they included more text than the last one. I thought that was really pretty too. But again, like upcycling something you already have too, like I think it's really groovy. Let's see. Oh, this one's really cool too. So I just wanted to share these with you guys because I just thought they were so pretty, and I could totally see you making something creative out of junk mail. So that's it for today, and I will see you soon, and maybe we'll do another poetry themed one with a couple of different kinds, and please share your work with me. Please send it to me. I would love to see it. Have a good night, you guys. Bye-bye.